YouTube allows us here. For some reason.
Yeah, so Fulham's been blown up. So it's all on the Emploi.
Very good. Yeah, I think we've just gone live. Let's keep an eye on YouTube to make sure.
Yeah, so for people who are just joining us, the EFL playoff final between Fulham and Brentford has gone to half-time 0-0. So for the both teams to score bet that I have, that's obviously not great. I was hoping for a goal in the first half, but with those two teams, it's not beyond the realms of possibilities. And obviously I have Fulham back to win as well, so they're still in with a shout there. And then in the Emploi Chievo game, it's still 0-0, but there's about 15 minutes left in the first half there. So plenty of time left.
Quarter 3 of the Bucks game is up now, and yeah, Janice or Middleton didn't feature a minute in it, so that's kind of killing that bit a bit. They're still down by 6 points, so I'm surprised that neither of them have won. They've only played 16 minutes each. They've really been using the bench there, and you'd expect that the lads will come on in quarter 4, but I don't know. 12 points is a big ask for Middleton in the last quarter. Still possible.
Yeah. Looks like there's a dead leg for one of the Chievo players here as well. So it'll be a good few minutes added on to this half, at least 2 minutes when he was down there. So plenty of time for a goal.
Yeah, sorry, just in terms of the NBA picture, what does that look like? So I think the Lakers had a good win last night, so they look like they're on for a playoff berth, yeah?
I mean, yeah, the Lakers are top of the Western Conference, and they won't be past. They're 51 wins, and second place Clippers are 45 wins, so they're not gonna catch them. Lakers are gonna be top seed. So the way it works is you've 8 teams get through from the conference out of 15, and then those 8 are seeded for a conference playoff quarterfinals. So that should be home advantage to the Lakers for 4 out of the 7 games against whoever gets into that 8th place. But there's not going to be any home advantage now.
But in terms of the way that they've obviously limited the teams that are playing, does that make any difference to the length of the season or whatever? I assume it does.
No, I mean, you're ruling out teams that would have potentially had an easy game, giving them more of a chance of a win and getting into the playoffs. But I think they've just treated that as kind of luck of the draw, really.
No one really complained about that, did they? That you got 5 games against the Duds and I only got 2.
Yeah, that's it. I don't think there was much of a fuss about it, really. They just kind of did what they could do. I mean, what do? You can discount everyone's results against those teams, but that kind of gets a bit messy too.
Yeah, okay. And when do the playoffs start? Is it still kind of next year? Or?
I don't. No, the playoffs would be. They'll squeeze it all in this year for sure.
Okay.
I don't know exactly when they're going to start, when the conferences will wrap up.
This is big chance for Chievo here.
I'm watching that.
Oh.
Inches away from getting his head on that.
Yeah. I mean, it's probably going to be Murphy's Law now that I say it, but I think Chievo, I'd be all over Chievo here. Empoli had their chance. They had their blitz at the start and they couldn't make anything of it. So again, Chievo are a little bit like Benevento. They've got a lot of Serie A experience in that team. Not as much as Benevento, but they've got plenty. So I think they'll be more suited to these 2 games, this one and the one in next week. Not that chance would tell you that they were, but a miss.
Both teams to score in the second half and the 0-0 at half time is looking fairly good as well.
That was a good call, yeah.
Hopefully somebody backed that. I'm actually a bit disappointed.
I did us a double. Sorry, I got distracted when we had our technical issue, so I didn't actually get a chance to run through this one with you. I put a double on for us. That is Yeah, it's got goals in the Brentford game, right? So it's not looking great there. But that is 5-2 for 2.5 in the Brentford game, and 11-4 for the both teams to score in the second half of the Chievo game. So that's not a bad price overall. That's 12-1.
11-4 is pretty decent for that.
Yeah.
And I mean, they both had plenty of chances in the first half too. So.
The other games, the Boston, the Clippers, and Magic, are they kicked off yet? Are they thrown in yet, Slats?
No, the only one that's going to start while we're on air is the Clippers game. That's kicking off at 9 p.m. our time, so 25 minutes from now. The other games are a bit later. There's a few games I didn't go near, but of the ones I went on, the Pacers and Magic they started at 11, and the Heat and the Celtics at 11:30.
Okay.
The Rockets play the Blazers at 2 a.m. as well, but I fancy
the
Rockets.
Late night for you, so is that it?
I won't be staying up for that one anyway. That'll go on to about 5 o'clock, like.
Yeah.
So when there's only late games, you do end up getting tempted to stay up and watch one or two, but with plenty on in the early part of the evening or the early part of the night time, it's grand. I'll get my fix and I'll head off to bed.
Oh.
Have you looked at in the golf this weekend, Dave?
No, I haven't. I must have a look now. I was hoping, obviously just for the Irish side of it, that Lowry was 6 under at one stage. He was kind of in the mix there, and he fell back a bit. I was hoping he'd obviously stay up with the leaders and kind of make it interesting that way. Yeah, I don't think I'd be backing him, but obviously be going from cheering him on. Ricky Fowler was looking decent as well. I don't know where he ended up, how far behind Thomas he finished, but I'd imagine he'd be one of the favourites anyway, right? So I'm not sure there'd be much value. I haven't looked at the odds yet, but I'll definitely get on someone.
Yeah. There's some good value around with a lot of bookies are going like 9, 10, 11 places. So I know Paddy Power Betfair 10 places, Sky Bet 11 places. So Joe, there should be value at the higher odds.
And what is it, 1/5 the odds you're getting for that? Is
it? 50 the odds, yeah. Now obviously you need to have your bet on before play starts, otherwise it'll go down to like 6 places or whatever. But there's a couple I'm looking at. So
I've got one, but you go through yours first. So I got one as well for that 11 places. Kind of caught my eye.
Yeah, so I just first off, so we can have yours first, but I think what you need, just looking at the course setup, you probably need someone who is long off the tee but accurate. So they're the two kind of categories that I'm looking at. So
accurate in terms of off the tee, like that you're getting onto the fairway.
So, like, if you look at Bryson DeChambeau, he's going to probably lead or be one of the leaders on the tour in terms of driving distance. But I wouldn't say he's up there. I need to check the stats. It's actually on my to-do list for tomorrow is to actually go through the stats in a bit more depth. But from watching him, he wouldn't be best in terms of, like, fairways and regulation, etc. So what I'm looking at is someone that is going to be high up on the fairways and regulation, but kind of 10th to 30th in that kind of range. So not one of the really, really long hitters, but long and like above average in terms of length, but kind of more accurate. So the ones that kind of stick out for that would be
Johnson fall into that category.
Dustin Johnson would be. Henrik Stenson is another, so he wouldn't be the longest hitter, but he is fairly accurate. And I think, I need to fact check this, but it's in my head that Stenson could have set a record at the weekend for the most consecutive pars in a tournament. So I think he had something like 20 consecutive pars or something like that. So
that's unbelievable.
He's not in trouble. Now, I said that could have been a dream. So I need to fact check that. So if anybody's watching and realize a mistake, don't be crucifying me because of it. But I think Stenson had the chance to do some sort of record last weekend. But in general, he's usually fairly accurate off the tee, and he has got a bit of extra length. And someone who'd be a bit of a risk, considering he hasn't had many rounds this year because of COVID, would be Tommy Fleetwood. So he kind of falls into that category as well. So I'll get the prices up here now for them, but they're kind of what I was looking at. So let me check here. So Stenson is, what is he? Stenson's 80 to 1. I'm not too sure what Fleetwood is.
Fleetwood wouldn't be that far out, would he?
Fleetwood's 35 to 1. So, as I said, with 10 places, I think the two of them, Stenson probably needs to get a better run of things than he has been getting, in terms of, make a few putts, etc. But the two of them have outside chances, and I hope to get a run for our money in them.
A great Chievo counterattack happening here, so.
Yeah, looking at that here.
Why did he leave that?
I thought when I was coming back, I thought the dummy was actually going to work. I assumed if he was dummying it, that the guy was closer.
Yeah, but the guy behind him obviously didn't know it was coming, did he?
Yeah.
Another dummy there. What are they doing? They're trying to. None of them want to actually be the one who scores.
They just know that we're on the 0-0 at half time.
Yeah. One that caught my eye is Ches Reevy, but he's 100 to 1. I think with the 11 places, I might be tempted onto him. I mean, he's not. I know you'd mentioned big hitters. He's not a huge hitter, but he's in okay form, and he's very, very solid. He doesn't really blow up or anything like that. So,
what did you say, LB? Sorry, I missed the name.
Ches Reevy.
Right.
He's obviously not one of the bigger names, and his 100 to 1 price is a reflection on that. But he's usually kind of, he's in okay form. Like I said, he never really completely messes up. So I'm just kind of hoping that he'll cruise along and scrape that 11th place and get me my 20 to 1. Like I think he's realistically no chance of winning it, but I think for top 11, it's not a bad price.
Yeah, well, I suppose closer to the time, so maybe tomorrow night we might have a stream and we'll go through it a bit more when we've got a bit more stats. But yeah, I think Reevy's a decent shout. One of the other markets that I like in a major kind of to keep things interesting is the first round leader market. So I might have a pop off a few there. There's one that kind of sticks out is I'm going to butcher this name, so if any South Koreans are watching, apologies. So Byung Hun An, he's 90 to 1 for first round leader, and it's top 7. And he didn't play that well, or didn't play that badly last week, and kind of fell away on the last day. I think that he could be someone who has a good start. I don't think he'll win because, as I said, I don't think he's won on the PGA Tour before. So the pressure would probably get to him on a Sunday. But he's definitely one that could sneak, first round leader at outside. And with that being top 7 as well, you really you've got a chance of making that once he doesn't have a total disaster. So he's one that is on my list. But so we can go through it in a bit more depth tomorrow.
Each way in the first round leader is just 7 places, is it? That's it.
First round leader is 7 places, yeah. So you see in the Bucks game now, David's back to just a 4-point differential, 7 minutes to go in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, I mean, they still haven't brought on Middleton, so it means nothing. But I mean, it's fairly dead anyway. It'd still be possible. I wouldn't put it past him if they put him on for the last 7-8 minutes that he could do it. But it's pretty unlikely.
Whatever way you've got that top on, Gary, it looks like it's like a karate jacket. Like you've got your fighting gown on over
dressing gown.
Yeah.
This is the new Shelbourne material. It's top quality. Anybody who fancies getting it.
Chievo could have scored there as well. They've had a lot of good chances now since we came back. Sorry to interrupt your merchandise
I'm just trying to mark it for Ireland's number one. So
yeah.
But yeah, but just coming into the end of Q2, the Mavs are they've just gone 4 points down. There's only 2 points in it, so they've come back into that game nicely. Doncic is 18 points and 6 rebounds. So again, he's looking on course for the double-double. Just need them to get on top now.
We've gone half time now in Italy anyway. I forgot the Chievo is the Chievo Verona. I was just looking at that stadium going, that's a massive stadium for the Serie B team, but it's the Hellas Stadium. I forgot that as well, the Olympic one. Verona. Watching this monstrous big, that bottom tier like in Naples as well. But I forgot that. Yeah, that's gone 0-0 at half time. It could have easily been 1 or 2 all. There was lots of chances, Emploi initially and then Chievo at the end. But yeah, I'm confident that the both teams will score in the second half.
Yeah, I'm fairly happy with how my bets are going so far. So obviously the goals are the big thing that's missing from both games. But the fact I have the cover bet on with the draw in the Chievo game and Fulham to win here, I'm kind of happy with that. Again, obviously Fulham are underdogs, but they're definitely in with a shout here.
We talked before about the different kind of coverage in different leagues, and it's a lot more kind of direct and hands-on in Italy than you'd see with the Premier League. And I'm just looking at it here. The Empoli captain was walking off the pitch and he's just been hauled over, and they're giving him a grilling. And obviously my Italian now is fairly limited, but they're basically saying to him, mistakes that were made and what are you going to do better in the second half, as he's waiting to go back in and get his water break.
Crazy.
Yeah.
I thought he was being interviewed all right, but obviously
and it's not like we heard you bought a house in Manchester, you're thinking to move to United. It's like, you keep getting caught without the ball, what do you do, and not in the right position kind of stuff. So hopefully that doesn't expire an Empoli win, because we're back down to Chievo and the draw. But that's good to see. I like it. It's kind of entertaining.
Bucks have called the timeout here, so just under 7 minutes to go. I'm expecting Janice and Chris Middleton will both be brought on, but we're up against it either way. Still a chance to only bring one of them on.
Oh, yeah.
For my bet, the double, the Mavericks are back within 4 points, so I'm happy with that. So you're saying Doncic has nearly got the double already, so
he's 4 rebounds off it, so he's looking good for it.
Barring an injury or being rested.
What would be a high rebounds to get in the game, Slats? Like, for say, your big star.
I mean, Embiid there, I saw a couple of games ago, he got 40 points and 20 rebounds to make a double-double. They call it a double-double-double, or a double-20 if it's 20 of each. A double-double, yeah. Or a double-20 if it's 20 of each category that they score. So it'd be pretty rare. Obviously, the points wouldn't be rare, but the rebounds.
20 rebounds.
Assists.
Fulham have a dangerous free kick here, lads. Just that it's starting back. They're about 20 yards out. Oh. Side netting. It's Cabano. I think he's the guy who scored in the Swansea, or not Swansea game, so the Cardiff game that we did live as well. The first leg. And it's from the opposite side of the box. I thought actually Tom Kearney would have taken it with his left foot, but he took a right foot and kind of curled it around. In the replay, it was actually a good bit wide. It just hit the side netting, but from the first camera angle, it looked like the keeper had parried it into the side netting. So
I was thinking when you said side netting from a free kick, and free kicks into the side netting are rarely that close. But I can't. I'm not watching that. I'm watching
it. It was a right footer from the right hand side of the pitch, that way. So but the camera was on the left hand side of the pitch, so it looked like the keeper had kind of parried it into the side. But
the Bucks are up by 3 points now. Some turnaround.
Yeah,
wouldn't have been bad at your 1 to 3 banker sort of price.
They're still 2-7 though.
Are they? I'm only seeing them at 1 to 4, unless
I'm just on Betfair Sportsbook here. I see them 2-7. So
Yeah, that's a pretty decent price still, isn't it?
Again, in like the basis that they were 1-40 before the game, if you're getting a 3-point lead in the fourth quarter and you're 2-7, like, you know.
Yeah, I suppose it's not as the game was expected to go. They probably would have expected to be up by between 10 and 20 points at this stage. But
yeah,
I mean, you'd still take that, surely.
Oh yeah, unless you back the handicap, I suppose.
They didn't even bring on either of the two
biggest dive ever in the Brentford Fulham match. So the guy De Silva for Brentford was going down the right wing, kicked the ball ahead and realised he was losing it, and one of the Fulham defenders had slid in. So he jumped in the air, like made sure he got contact off the defender, but like it was the slightest of contact. And then when he fell on the floor, like this, because my volume was down to like 2 or 3 on the volume meter on the TV, and it sounded like he'd been shot. Like he was just screaming at the top of his lungs, and lucky enough the ref didn't give it, but in the instant replay, it's just an atrocious dive. Like, should be ashamed of himself.
Like some pleb, like just standing back up and jogging off down the pitch for the freeze and giving them.
No, they can't. They always just like massage the knee a bit and kind of like hobble off,
like a WWE
give the guy a
recovery.
finger as well. Like, you got away with one there, mate. And then
like, the sorest part of it was the landing after the dive. That way he's just like, because he hung so long in the air to make sure he got the touch off the defender. That's a really good decision from the ref and linesman, because.
But then it should be a yellow.
Like it was a free, like
You know.
Surely should have been a yellow, yeah.
He's just fucking diving.
I'm not sure what channel you guys are watching the Chievo match on, but they're just doing a roundup of the best goals of the Serie B this season. Some absolute worldies going in. I'm not sure how far back it's going or if it's the whole season, but some.
Who'd be kind of getting player of the season there, or like who'd be the kind of big name?
I don't even know do they do any of those kind of awards or not. It'll be any position. Like, it's going to be the best 11 are basically the Benevento 11. Like
to me, it's the best league in Europe anyway. Like, maybe not for a standard of football, but for entertainment value, like I've never seen a league like it.
Yeah.
So when COVID is over, we're allowed to travel freely, I'm definitely doing like a tour of Italy to Serie B games.
Yeah, we discussed that in one of the earlier streams. I think it'd be unbelievable to see some of these places. I mean, I actually sent through, when we were looking at some of the old videos, the Serie D stadium, but in Siena. And it's such a different kind of football experience to go to those smaller, more kind of authentic grounds than the kind of Hollywood domes that you get in the A leagues,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because obviously they look like they're soulless when they're empty, but I'd say even a couple of hundred fans in those smaller stadiums make a good noise. And as you said, like, some of the goals that are going in and the volume of goals that go in, you couldn't be bored,
No. Trying to see who the actual top scorer is in the whole league here. The man Marcus Stout, remember him from Cagliari a few years ago? He's playing for Benevento, and now he's in his mid-30s, I think. But he's definitely in with the shout of being the top.
Were you saying one of these teams is looking to sign Sturridge or someone like that? You were saying it's some Premier League player.
So I think it's Benevento Benevento won the league, so they're promoted now to Serie A. And I'm fairly sure it was either Daniel Sturridge or it was some player. I'll Google it now actually, but they were definitely after some reasonably well-known Premier League striker.
But we mentioned that you look at the teams the players who've gone over to the Serie A the last few years. Probably Ashley Cole was the first of them, and then Ashley Young, Sanchez, Lukaku, Ericsson. It's a fresh lease of life for a lot of them. You're kind of fading away a bit, and as much as every league But I know they all get accused of being sort of similar, but in reality, the Premier League is probably the most physically demanding league. Whether it's the best or not is a different conversation, but it's certainly the most taxing on the bodies. You get the likes of Ashley Young, who just don't have the legs to be a full back in the Premier League anymore. You could play for most of the Serie A teams. It's not that type of just, even Gary mentioned there, the dive, kick a ball past the guy and just race down the sideline. It's not, it's a very kind of English league way of playing. So I think I think for a lot of those players, it's definitely worthwhile to go down there. Obviously the quality of life stuff, but you're going to remake your name as well if you need to,
It was Daniel Sturridge. So now, I have to caveat it with it's the Sun who had the headline. So,
how much truth is in it?
Could be more of a chance of me signing for Benevento than Daniel Sturridge based on the Sun having a headline on it. But they're basically saying that Loic Remy, who used to play for QPR, I think he had a spell at Newcastle, maybe even a spell at Chelsea at one stage, and he went and failed a medical at Benevento, so they're looking for a striker. And Sturridge was under a ban for breach of betting regulations, so probably not the place to be going if you're breaching.
What do you mean? It's a match made in heaven.
Daniel, if you're watching, we'll have a few tips for you next season. But yeah, he's looking to rebuild his career, and supposedly they've offered him a lifeline. So
the Nets have taken the lead again here. They're up 112, 110.
112, 110. Wow.
Bucks are 6-5 for the win. There's just under 3 minutes on the clock, which, as we were talking about yesterday, like 3 minutes on the clock. This game will still be on in 15 minutes time, like some.
Yeah.
There it goes. But
I've turned that light on. It's not that I've got a bright idea, lads. Just in case you were wondering.
You should have a button there that every time something happens in the Fulham game, you just hit that light on.
Like a little buzzer, like.
Yeah.
Right, another timeout from Bucks. This is what I need here. I need to bring on Middleton. I need the match to go to at least one overtime round.
Yeah, that's actually hopefully it does. So you just need them to get 2 points, get to the draw, and then into extra time with it.
Yeah, it won't just be 2 points more scored in this quarter anyway. With 3 minutes, it's going to be probably 20 points scored. But yeah, just need it to end on a draw and then go into 5 minutes of overtime. Realistically, I probably need 10 minutes of overtime for Middleton to be scoring 11 or 12 more points. But you're never dead in NBA anyway, the way the overtime goes.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
I'm just looking at some of the stats here for the Serie B. After you mentioned the Daniel Sturridge thing, and obviously we mentioned it before, but Benevento have just ran away with that league. I think they've scored a high 60s of goals in their 38 games, but 20 goals more than anybody else, with a goal difference of plus 40. But none of their players are in the top 9 goal scorers of the season. So there's 9 there. That Marcus Sau is their top goal scorer with 13. He's 10th overall. So it actually kind of does add a little bit of weight to the story that they might need to find a proper, not that he's not a proper striker, but a sharper edge to their front line.
Yeah, and Sturridge is a decent player, especially if he can stay fit. He's definitely up to Serie A standard, Mm-hmm. Like he'll tear a few of those defenses to pieces, I would say.
Certainly if they're up high anyway.
Nets up by 5 now, 115, 110.
At what point do you start to think it's unattainable?
About half an hour ago.
I meant the result as opposed to the bet. But
no, the result is still in it until you'd see them sometimes. There'd be 10, 15 seconds. The only problem is if you have to score twice, you're given the opponent's possession in between that, and then you have to get the ball back off them. And what they tend to do a lot is they'll just foul them straight away. They'll just go for the foul and hope that they miss their free shots and that they get possession back. Because when you foul and it goes to those free shots, the clock is stopped again. So they just take their chance, give them, they might score one of the two, and then that'll mean the Bucks need 2 3-pointers. So they score a 3-pointer, give away a foul straight away, get possession back and score another 3-pointer. And, that could all happen within the space of about 7 seconds or something like that.
Yeah.
You're really still in it. If you're within 10 points, you wouldn't write someone off with a couple of minutes left.
It's about to kick off now again it's all kicking off in the Chievo Emploi. They're all back out.
Yeah, so the both teams to score in Fulham Brentford is starting to look slim, but first 15 minutes of the second half, Fulham have been on top. They had a good chance there. The strikers kind of took a chance on the half volley. If you had a little bit more composure, might have got a shot on target, but kind of the half volley kind of skied it kind of high and wide. But Fulham do seem to be a better team in the second half. It's weird that Mitrovic isn't playing, so I'm not too sure whether he's injured or if he just had, because I know he got sent off early in the playoffs, and I don't think Parker was too happy with him. So I don't know whether he's still paying the price. The camera still keeps going to him. But I said I haven't really got the commentary on, so I don't know what they're saying. But
he's on the bench. He is in the squad anyway.
Yeah, so it'd be interesting to see him come on, because he didn't play in the last game either. In either leg, as far as I'm aware, against Cardiff. So
also he's just out of favour.
Yeah, I think so. So there's 30 minutes left. With 200,
he was probably
ever on the line. How ballsy can you be with a manager to leave your best striker on the bench for with that up for grabs? So wouldn't be surprised to see him soon.
Because when they went down the season before last, everybody was thinking where's Mitrovic going to go? There was no way that he was just going to be left into the Championship, and then he stayed with them, and it'd be such a strange turn of events that he sits out their most crucial match of the season.
Yeah, exactly.
Bucks are only a point down now. Still a minute and a half to play.
You kind of want your team to go 3 ahead, and then because obviously 1 point, there's going to be a winner either way. With
free throws, it's not necessarily like they can score. A lot of the time, they seem to miss 1 up to 2 free throws.
Am I right to think that the guy who gets fouled has to take the free throw?
Yeah, unless they commit. I think if a player commits, 5 fouls within 1 quarter, the opponent can let anyone take the free throws. Maybe for the rest of the game, I think. I'm not 100% on that rule, but it might be for the rest of the game. And so you see sometimes their free throw expert will have scored an insane amount of free throws because he'll be taking them all for the whole game. But I'm not sure exactly what dictates that situation. It doesn't happen too often.
There was
see that Emploi chance?
Yeah, I was trying not to get excited and cut Dave off, but
yeah, sorry, Dave.
It was a great
the keeper injured himself or something, because I saw one of the defenders
throwing his hands up.
Yeah, he was trying to usher someone onto the pitch, it seemed. So I don't know whether the goalkeeper injured himself trying to save it or what.
I see the replay here.
I think it's the defender who slid in.
Yeah.
You look at the defender who kind of went into tackle, kind of went over. He went over awkwardly. So
yeah,
a delay there.
A tactical delay.
He does look in a spot or bother, and he did go over fairly nastily, so.
I want to refresh my feed because I was a good bit behind you on that one again. When I saw you cheer and I saw the guy breaking down the wing, or you nearly cheer.
The Mavericks they've gone 7 behind, but they're out to 11-8. There's still plenty of time left. Not nearly 2 quarters left, but we're only 5 minutes into the second.
Yeah, there is plenty of time, but I don't think I wouldn't be getting on them. They are a risk. They haven't been playing the best. Thought tonight they might.
When you're like, I really fancy whoever, Barcelona tonight, and they go 1-0 down. You're like, that's great. Now it gives me the chance to get on them. But at 2-0 down, you start to think, maybe actually they're not so much value anymore. Better just to leave it. Yeah, I wonder at what point in basketball do those numbers kind of parallel.
I mean, I suppose if you watch the odds, you'd get a feel for it based on what the bookings are saying.
Yeah, well, we've seen it with something with a lot of football matches. Those odds don't always tally, do they, with what you'd expect?
No, that's true, actually, yeah.
Chievo, great little passage of play here. A lame enough cross into the box then.
I'm not just saying because I need them to win, but Fulham are 4-1 for this game in 90 minutes. And they've played by far the best. They're 20 minutes into the second half now. And Fulham have had, I don't have the possession stats in front of me, but I'd say Fulham have 60% of the possession and they've had the best chances in the second half.
Yeah.
Again, in play, it wouldn't be a bad bet. As I said, Brentford just broke down and got a corner, but
this is good now. There's 6 seconds left in the Bucks game, and they're 3 points down. They've just called a timeout. So they're going to have some play to play for a 3-point.
It seems like from watching the Jordan documentary that every time that happens, that the 3-point happens, just because it happened so many times.
It seems to happen an uncanny amount of the time. It is almost like WWE. You'd nearly think it's set up just for the drama of it and that it, that it comes off and so often. But it would be interesting to see. Janice and Middleton haven't played since the first half, and there's 6 seconds left. They wouldn't even be warm or whatever. You know what I mean? They'd be all cold and quiet, kind of.
Just stiff from having the aircon pumped down their backs for the last 15 minutes.
Would you bring them on, throw them the ball, go for the 3, or would you trust one of the lads that's played 25, 30 minutes, played the full quarter here?
Yeah. This Chievo game is going awfully similar to our last Chievo game. There was just chance after chance after chance, but no goals. Was it last Friday? Or was it earlier in the week, the Tuesday game, maybe?
Ooh.
They didn't get it.
No.
Game over.
Fulham Brentford suspended.
Yeah, it was a bad. He's only gotten a yellow, so Tom Carney of Fulham kind of charged out and went in on a tackle. It is a yellow, but it could have been a red. Yeah, I've seen reds given for that. He kind of loses his footing more than means it. Oh my God, it was a handball in the box as well by Fulham. If it was VAR, Brentford would have a penalty, and then after the penalty, they probably would have a good chance of Kearney being sent off. So the Fulham are probably lucky there's no VAR, but Kearney's been booked for that. The commentator has said you shouldn't get a penalty for the handball, but the corner came in, and the centre half was like that, but not in front of his face, in his chest, and it hit both his arms, and the ref didn't give a penalty.
But don't they tend to give it if your hands are if the ball was going to hit you anyway? They'll kind of ignore the handball.
But it was he was like that. It wasn't a natural position. He moved his arms up to the ball. It was like he was afraid of the ball hitting his chest. And again, it wasn't as if it was coming a couple of yards. The ball came from the corner flag into the centre of the box, So
they've gone. There must be VAR in the Serie B playoff here because Chievo crossed the ball into the box, and there was a handball.
Yeah.
It says video referee reviewing a penalty here.
There's no. It was 100% handball. It's 50-50, maybe 60-40. Was it in the box or out of the box?
Who's it going to be for?
Penalty to Chievo.
But see, that's harsher. That'll be a harsher handball than the Fulham. The Fulham was a definite handball. That's he sliding in, and it's kind of a natural reaction for your arm to be out.
No, your arm wasn't out. It was up, and it was blocking the ball going into the box. Wasn't
but it wasn't. It definitely wasn't intentional. It was part. It was a natural part of his slide. The ref's going over to look at it here. Right, he's definitely going to give it.
Yeah. You can't review that and not. But that angle doesn't actually show. The other angle is clear as day. His hand
Yeah,
bounces.
it does hit it. It does hit his hand, but I mean, I think it's harsh, and it probably.
But you know what was strange though? I was actually about to say it. Like that passage of play, the ball goes into the box, and all the Chievo players just froze, and they didn't really do anything. They must have just gone mental. They must have just froze after thinking that like hearing the ball hit his hand, because they absolutely had a chance to score. When that ball goes into the box, it deflects, comes back to a Chievo player to shoot, and he doesn't. And then he kind of half shoots, and then it just rolls across the box, and the guys don't even go for it. So
but it's just mental that in the space of 30 seconds, both of these handballs happened. There's a penalty being given for this, and like there's no penalty being given in the Fulham game. Like,
yeah. Well, there we go. It's the only one borderline outside the box, like on the line. Is that in the box? I don't know.
On is in.
He's giving it anyway. What did your clock say? Who's ahead of who here on this, Gary?
Mine says 55-18.
Mine's just 55-29 now.
29 or 24.
6 seconds ahead.
Right. I'm going to block you on the screen so that you don't reveal.
I won't even look. I'll check out the Clippers game. It's just after starting here.
We'll give a bit of volume, will we?
He's put it over.
Saved.
Oh, save.
Oh, that was the softest penalty. That was such a poor penalty.
It was, but like some balls.
They're claiming the corner.
The save, like.
Oh, what a! That was like there's two sides, like, you know, just to the left and to the right of the keeper, where he'd fall over if he was to fall, where you can't put a penalty because it's unbelievably savable, and that's where he just put that.
I think you're giving the keeper, or you're not giving the keeper enough credit there. Like, I mean, it was in the corner. Like, I think the keeper's just massive. He looks about 7
No,
foot.
that was a full 3 feet inside the post. It was awful.
I've been very harsh on the keeper there. Like,
well, he did his job.
It wasn't a great penalty, but it was a good save from the keeper.
If you had a student, you'd fail him for that penalty. Like, it was so far inside the post, and you know, the right height for the keeper to save it and soft. You know, it was like you just chip it into his hands.
Very harsh there.
No,
there goes a poor penalty, but you have to give credit to the keeper for saving it.
Oh yeah, no disrespect to the keeper. He did his job, but
you're making it look like he could have just fucking thrown his cap on it. Like, he still needed to save it.
Yeah. Very defensive about a keeper. It was just
I'm just
worst
saying,
penalty you're going to see.
A bit of credit.
Kawhi has an early rebound and assist for your double hopes there anyway.
Boom. We still need the Mavs. How are they getting on? They're still 8 points behind.
They're down by about that, yeah. Let me just see here. They're down by 8 points still, yeah. Doncic has 8 rebounds now and 20 points, so he's only 2 rebounds shy of the double. But yeah, it's going to be a close one. I still think Mavs are going to come back into it, but you know, time's against them now at this stage. I suppose they need to get back into it.
Ref.
Well, George for 3 points was here, so anytime I've seen the score going up, I want to see it going up 3s rather than 2s, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you don't watch it for a while and like there could be 2 points scored and then 1 free throw, and you get such hope that there's a 3 point being scored, and then yeah. Or even if you see the player has scored 3 points, you know, you still need to look into the breakdown of the scores they've made. So nothing yet for George. In fact, Marcus Morris, I think, is scoring 3 pointer there.
Carney with another tackle there. He got the ball, but he's very lucky he got the ball, because otherwise he would have been off. So I wonder will Fulham take him off, because he's think he's one tackle away from getting a second yellow. You know? There's only 16 minutes left in this game as well, so this could be heading for extra time.
Another dangerous free now for Chievo. That's their third free since the penalty. So we're expecting some cards for Emploi soon enough.
They only have the one yellow so far.
I didn't even see it. I assume that was for the handball, was it?
I think there was yeah.
Yeah, like the Emploi players have barely left their own box now since the restart, really. A throw here to relieve some pressure, but I'm surprised that there's VAR. It must just be for the playoffs and not, because it definitely wasn't there during the season.
It definitely wasn't there during the season, yeah.
It used to be the case back in the rugby, the Heineken Cup, but I think it was only the quarterfinals that you'd have video ref.
Yeah.
It used to only be the semi-finals. You have to have it. I remember Munster, back when it was depending on the stadium the game was being played. Munster getting thrown out of the game because there was no video ref.
That could be it. It could be the stadium here, because this is Verona's stadium. This is Hellas' stadium that they'll have the VAR set up, you know. Some of the teams in the Serie B presumably don't have the setup there, so I wonder is it just that they have it so they might as well use it kind of thing.
Vantage up to 9 rebounds now, so the double rather is looking good. 5 assists, he's not a mile off the triple double either. But they're still, in fact, they're only 4 points behind now as well, so they're in a good spell of it.
So when you back to double does it matter what criteria, like, or does it have to be?
Not at all. No, you could individually make up your own double of his own points spread.
Yeah.
But like if you did that for Doncic, you'd probably be backing for over 8.5 assists or over 7.5 assists and over 8.5 rebounds. But you know what I mean? You wouldn't be backing him for 10 or more.
Yeah. You're just hoping that he's going to get the points, and then hoping that he gets one of the other ones, really.
Exactly. Yeah. With Doncic, he's good at assists and rebounds, so you can go for either or. But, a lot of players, they'll only be good in 2 of the categories consistently, and you know, they might be good at scoring and rebounds, but they won't assist at all. Yeah, he's got his 10 rebounds now, Doncic.
It's a good chance for Emploi here. Great. Oh no, the cross just kind of drifted away from him, so straight into the keeper's hands. Sorry, you said he's got his 10. He's got a single double.
10 rebounds, 7 assists, 23 points. And it's only halfway through quarter 3, so he is actually looking good for a triple double. They're 4 points behind, and the Kings have just called time out.
It's funny when the screen changes. Early Chievo shot. Like, you just kind of moved up to the top of my screen from the bottom of my screen.
Yeah.
And my head kept seeing you as Gary, you know, and I just kind of looked up then. I was like, Gary looks a bit slightly different. Got another good chance for Chievo. This game will be tragic if you've backed both teams to score as we have, and this game ends goalless, because there's been chances at both ends. Plenty of chances.
Two matches are still in all.
Yeah.
Let me just check in on the Clippers here now. See his.
I do think with these types of games that maybe Champions League final or FA Cup final, or those kind of like, you know, elite teams, it's different because they're it's a different mindset. You know, it's go out there and impose your style on the game and the way they all kind of carry on now. But you come down and it's like the Championship playoffs, the Serie B playoffs. Obviously, still good athletes and all that, but they're within their own field. They're not the elite level. Like, it's more the downside of it. You don't want to lose, as opposed to go out there.
Fear and it creates that caginess. Like, just don't concede, and we're still in this contest. Like,
yeah, so like we saw the FA Cup final, it was over 2.5. There's the Champions League and stuff coming up now, and I imagine there'll be a lot of goals in those games. But when you look back to the Serie B, the Championship, the conference playoffs and stuff in England, maybe it's one to note down for next season or later in the year to look at the unders, or at least wait to back goals. You know what I mean? Nothing in the first half or that type of thing.
You'd like to think that we learn from our mistakes.
God, yeah. Again, any regular viewer, they're going to know that that's not true.
Same bets, same foolish
10 team accumulators.
Yeah. Mavericks are only 3 down now. I'd love to see them take the lead before the end of the quarter. And they have possession here as well, so I don't know.
Into the last 10 minutes now in the Brentford game. That's drifting away. And it is a free.
Shame it's not like basketball where the extra time would carry the
goal. Well, you can bet them though. You can bet, 120 minutes or whatever in those bets.
Oh, really?
I think maybe not for goals now. I don't know, but yeah. I saw something. I didn't actually follow it in enough detail, but a lot of baseball punters on Twitter were kind of asking or not giving out, but kind of, just talking about. They've changed baseball rules, and I think just around that kind of how far stuff counts and things like that. I think one of them was there had to be a certain amount of innings in a game for the bets to be counted. And now because of COVID, they've changed the rules. So the bookies have kind of changed their rules as well.
Right.
So I think, yeah. So it's just something, every sport has its own version of this kind of thing, doesn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, the Suns are after taking the lead against the Clippers here for a point, but
it's been a calf injury for one of the Emploi guys here. He looks pretty unhappy with it. But you kind of a lot of these guys wouldn't be used to playing this time of the year, so it looks slightly on the he's north of 30 anyway, so hopefully he's all right.
That game will be heading for extra time as well, so the Chievo.
No, these are next week there'll be another leg.
Sorry, this is the first leg.
Yeah, it was a bit behind the championship.
That should give, you'd be expecting the home team to be, kind of trying to make the most of it too. It's one thing to say, we won't lose this game, but then you have to play away the following week,
Yeah. So it's just the type of play, you look at Mourinho teams and it's just don't concede. It's plan A. And we worry about goals if that opportunity arises. Chievo are a very defensive-minded team. So, like I said, they only Benevento have conceded less than them this season. And that's just because Benevento are basically a Serie A team in the Serie B.
Sitting down there, yeah. You reckon so that Benevento are better than any of the relegation?
Yeah, they're better than Spal for sure. Lecce are going down, but they're not a bad team. But Benevento and Lecce. Benevento certainly give them a run for their money. I know now it'd be tough to say because Lecce have spent the season playing the likes of Inter and Juve, so
yeah, it's kind of you'd be a bit biased from what you've seen, kind of.
Yeah, but as well they'd just be probably sharper and stuff. But yeah, I'd say anyone in the bottom, Benevento give any of the bottom sort of 4 or 5 Serie A teams a run for their money, and that's the way they are now without any kind of. They kind of made a mistake. A lot of teams you see, like this year in England with Norwich. They came up 2 seasons ago. They kind of an open attacking style of play with a lot of, a lot of average players playing the system as opposed to any standout stars, if you know what I mean. And they didn't adapt, and they just got steamrolled and got sent back down again. So you have to expect. Yeah. I mean, Gary was mentioning he's just back there now. I'm sure he's picking up on what we're talking about.
Yeah, I can see the Clippers.
I can hear what you were talking about there. Fulham have just brought on Knockhart and Mitrovic, so 7 minutes left, but they're going to have a go for it, I think. Sorry, that's what you were saying, the Clippers?
I can see that the Clippers scored a 3-pointer, but it hasn't come up who got it yet. So I'm just hoping. Oh, no, I don't think it is. No.
It's the wrong one.
Oh, why? Good chance here for Fulham. Oh, you should have shot.
Out to 9-1 now. Surely that's got to be worth a tenner.
He should have shot. Obviously you've only got 6 minutes and added time, but it's not as if they're under the cosh here. Like, they're very much in the game. I don't know why the striker didn't take a shot here.
It's a big Emploi chance here. Oh, it's gone through the defender's legs. Oh.
A goal?
Oh,
no.
Awful. I'm not sure what was worse there, the defending or that shot at the end, but I don't think any of them expected the ball to end up where it was going to end up.
Yeah, realistically, for my bet, both teams to score isn't going to come in both of these games, so I'm really hoping for the cover bet. So I need Fulham and the draw here. So if Fulham could score in the next 5 minutes, then I'm in with a great chance of that 28-1. So I'll be cheering against any goals in Chievo and Emploi.
I've got Chievo back now, so I'm back in Chievo. I'm cheering on Chievo, especially if the Fulham one doesn't end with the win.
Yeah, that's it. That's a good thing. We have 15 minutes then to cheer on.
Of course.
Chievo, if that happens.
The guy, the Chievo player Esposito, he played in the Serie A, didn't he? Check him up here. I'm having a vague memory bell ringing here for me. When you kind of see a name, it just throws you if you're remembering it right.
Every time the Mavs come back into this game, they just fall back behind. There's 8 back now, coming close to the end of the third quarter. They have a couple of free throws though, so hopefully they'll be within 6 points. So frustrating. I keep thinking they're going to push on and just take the lead, and there'll be no looking back then at that stage. And then every time they come within 4, they just back 8 points back again 2 minutes later.
I know I was confused. There's a player for Inter called Esposito as well. That's what was confusing me.
It's a strange name to have 2 players like.
Yeah, so when something isn't sitting right, like I was looking at the name going, I definitely know him, but you're looking at his head, kind of it's not ringing any bells.
You're so used to listening to the Justin Bieber song.
Yeah, exactly. It's my ringtone. Back when people used to download ringtones. That's kind of gone again, isn't it? I don't think I've heard any kind of song ringtones recently at all.
I haven't heard anybody have a ringtone in about 15 to 20 years now.
Yeah. Dave's gone quiet, so I presume he has one.
Yeah.
They still have the crazy frog.
Yeah, I was just going to say that, yeah. Just your own version of the ding, 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 ding.
God, I'd forgotten that. The audible nightmare that was.
Yeah.
Oh, God, I remember
we used to do
days.
prank. Remember, we used to have prank ringtones as well. You'd get it on someone's phone if you could. Oh, good times.
Yeah, or just putting their phone on to loud and ringing them during class.
Yeah, changing the silent setting to actually being loud, and then they couldn't get it off.
The panic of them trying to fix it.
Yeah, and now you need fingerprints and 20-digit codes to get into your friend's phone. No more. Yeah.
Actually, I'd say Fulham are going to have one last chance, so they have a free kick here just inside the half. There's an argument, probably not a red card, but fairly cynical foul. The ball was dinked over the top. Knockhart was running through, and the defender kind of clipped his legs. He's just lucky that there was another defender running back with him. Otherwise, the ref probably could have got a yellow, or could have got a red, but he just got a yellow. So
it's all gone quiet here now in Chievo. Chievo's dominance is just kind of petered out a bit now, so I would imagine they're not going to take any major risks and just start again next week. So the draw is looking good.
Yeah, well, I'd take that if Fulham can do the business, but it's looking unlikely.
Get the winner and then the draw is good for you.
Yeah.
Is that a treble? just that those
Yeah.
Shields.
The Shells, Fulham, and the draw.
what would that be paying you?
So
28.
28 on the counter on it, so 290 back.
It's nice.
Good Chievo chance here. He's got to do something with this.
Another 3-pointer from the Clippers.
They just Chievo broke through, got ahead of the defense. For some reason, slowed it up, played it wide, and then the guy just like 3 guys in the box and a fella on the front of the D he could have passed it to, and he just drove his cross straight out for the goal kick. Just you could see his teammates throwing their heads in their hands.
Fulham are passing the ball around their defenders. It's like, will you get the ball into the box? It's like they're settling for extra time, so they don't want to lose it here. So I wonder how much out of time there'll be.
But that's fair enough. Like the you're the underdogs. You've survived 80 odd minutes. You just play it safe for the last 2, and then get another half an hour to go.
Yeah, Mitrovic has been quiet since he came on, though.
It's hard. Certain types of players do need time to warm into the game. It's a good defending actually by Emploi.
I wonder did he even come on. He definitely looked like he was coming on, like he was stripped. But unless they changed their mind, he's not on the pitch.
No, he hasn't come on yet.
He was definitely lined up and standing at the touchline. They must have changed their mind.
The coach is smoking him off.
Yeah.
How much injury time is there, Gar?
There's only 3 minutes, and Fulham have just given away a soft free kick to Brentford, so Brentford will probably have the last chance of the game here. They're about, 35 yards out on the left-hand side of the pitch, so it'll be a ball into the box, and that'll be the last play of the game, I'd say. They're just going into the 92nd minute.
It's a good Chievo break here now, but there's plenty of Emploi bodies back. Misplaced pass. Recovered well. It's from the left wing, dinked into the box. He's past his man. Headed for a corner. Good defending. Goal kick, the keeper caught it actually. Not even.
They're just bringing on Mitrovic now, which is frustrating.
You're just saying it'll be some players take a while to warm into the game. He has about a minute and a half here.
Well, he's going to get the full half an hour now, isn't he?
Well, fair enough. For the bet, he has about a minute and a half. But I suppose that's not what the coach is thinking about.
No. It's Chievo corner now. So I didn't think that went out. I thought the keeper had caught that, but my first instinct was right. It was a Chievo corner. So swinging it in here now. Good corner. Bounced in the box. Well cleared. And actually now a very dangerous Emploi break.
Final quarter in the Mavs game just starting now. They're still 7 points down coming into this quarter. So,
just for any of our viewers, again, it looks like our Zoom has frozen this time, so it's there, but it's not really showing anything. So you have to bear with us on that one. We probably not restart it because it's only a quarter of an hour left anyway. But apologies for that. We're probably a daily reminder for people why they had Skype for the last 10 years and not one of the more modern versions.
Yeah, it's frustrating, all right. So it looks like this is nailed on for extra time now. There's like 10 seconds left. Has been uninteresting for the last 10 minutes, so hopefully the extra time is better. Again, like I don't know what foot price Fulham are for.
Emploi had a great chance.
But that would be the bet I'd be putting on.
What are you saying? Who to win?
So, the match is over now in terms of the 90 minutes, but I wonder, could you get Fulham in extra time.
They're even money to win the trophy.
13-2 in extra time. So
It's not bad. 13-2.
That's good. Yeah, they're 4-1 on Bet365 only.
So to win Fulham in extra time, 13-2. Yeah. How much is there? 4-1. That can't.
Gary saw them at 13-2.
Oh, sorry, 13-2. Sorry, 13-2.
Bet365, they were only 4-1.
Wow.
I pulled the trigger on a double there just to try and save my saver, otherwise known as chasing guys. So yeah, I've
good money after bad, I think we call it.
It hasn't been accepted yet, but I'm trying to do Fulham in extra time and Chievo, and it's not letting me for some reason. 32-1 bet, but Paddy Power isn't liking it at the minute, so. Cool, that's on now. So, come on, Chievo.
Chievo, regular time we take it, is it?
Chievo and regular, yeah. So this is a two-legged.
But the Suns are winning 27-23 after the first quarter. And the Kings are up by 10 points. All the bloody underdogs. Nice.
Yeah, strange all day, the basketball so far.
It has been a bit like that. There has been a few underdog winners. Now that the Bucks losing was massive, under 40, and they lost.
Do you get those? Is that like a particularly unusual upset in basketball, or is it, is it that kind of sport where it happens quite a bit?
Yeah, I mean, this season, I would say if you had backed the same stake on every underdog, you'd be up money for sure.
Oh.
But is that a bit of an anomaly? Probably to some extent.
Yeah.
And sorry, did you say Doncic has got his double-double?
He does, yeah. Yeah, he's 11 rebounds now and 20 points and 7 assists. I think 29 points, 7 assists. So
they're 10 points behind the Mavs, so could do it getting down.
Yeah, there's still 10 minutes left.
And then I'm looking at Leonard here. He has like 2 rebounds, 2 assists, and 2 points. So that's not too bad of a start.
That's after the first quarter.
First quarter, yeah.
So, I mean, if you multiply that out, he's coming up short, but yeah.
Yeah, but you'd expect him to grow into the game based on my basketball knowledge. But
I love the hesitation. You'd expect him to, and you're like, what do I need to grow into the game?
No, but they do. Like any games I've seen in basketball, they've kind of come alive in third and fourth quarters. The first half kind of drifts. That's what I've seen, but could be dreadfully wrong.
He could. I mean, it's good that he's got a few rebounds already. Like I was saying, he usually gets about 5 or 6 a game. So, he's off the mark on a few anyway. If that continues, he could be within a shot of the double-double, all right. The points, you wouldn't have to worry about it. He's gone 10 points for sure.
Emploi look to have just settled for the draw here. I'm not sure if either of you are watching this, but they're not even really trying.
Here, yeah.
They're not even really trying to get out of their own half. They're just hoofing it. I think, though, the way this tie is set up, like a 1-0 loss here today for Emploi, which looks like the worst case scenario for them now, is corner. Yeah. It's not a bad day at the office for them.
The opposite corner, like into the bottom corner of the goal, like.
Yeah. Harsh on the keeper, like he scrambled across there. Oh, it seems to be giving a goal kick. I don't know how.
Or might have his teammate.
Yeah. Anyway, not to worry. Still 6.5 minutes left for Chievo to do the business. It's a good cross, actually. No, it's gone out now for a throw.
Mavs have it back to 6 points now. I don't think they've led since the first quarter, if they've led at all in this whole game.
I haven't seen them in the lead anyway. So
no, they definitely haven't. Since they might have gone 2-0 up or something like that, they might have scored first, but since the Kings went in front,
2-0 up sounds amazing for the football, and it's just inconsequential then for your basketball bets.
Completely irrelevant. They're 5 points behind now, still over 9 minutes on the clock.
Yeah, this game is starting to get scrappy now. Lots of just lashing and just balls going from one side of the pitch to the other and bouncing out for throws.
Yeah, extra time is on the way at Wembley as well. Brentford had a decent chance there, but it's gone wide.
Yeah,
come on now, Chievo.
As soon as I said Emploi are settling for the draw, they've been pretty impressive the last couple of minutes. It's been all Emploi.
Yeah, I think there's going to be one more chance in the game, though.
For Chievo, yeah. There's still a full 5 minutes left, maybe one more then for the subs. So,
and they're an injury as well, so.
And a penalty, that was the second half, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, so maybe the VAR, and then there was the VAR for something else as well. So I'd say there'll be 3 minutes at least. So, plenty of time.
What do you have along with that Chievo win, LB? Was it the Shells win?
No, that goal's in the Fulham match, so that's gone.
Oh, so there's nothing riding on Chievo now anyway.
No, Gary's bet, yeah, double.
Oh yeah.
Whiskey chaser.
Oh yeah, I'm all out.
But it's mad. 6-1 on Fulham. I just think is ridiculous.
Yeah.
They haven't played too badly, and then with Mitrovic on as well, they should be a threat. Although the first 3 minutes of this extra time, Brentford have dominated.
Yeah, it always reminds me of that Real Atletico Champions League final, and it was just, Real were lucky to get to extra time.
Penalty for Chievo.
No, for Emploi. Right. Choice. That's that one. Might get the both teams to score up, I suppose.
Mavs are back within 3 points here, which is decent. I don't think it's in
here. I must be looking at the wrong place. It could have been a free out there. Kicks him in the leg.
No, that's not a penalty. They go to VAR for that.
Have they gone to VAR?
They need that's not a penalty.
Doesn't look as if they
doesn't look like they're going to go to it, but
the only thing is though, you just kick through the back. It wasn't going to hurt him. It was not going to injure him, but you just kick through the back of his leg, and then that stops him getting the ball. You can't do that, even though it's up in the air.
The camera angle I saw, it looked like
saved.
Missed it. Save.
Should have got on the both teams to miss a penalty at about 8,000-1.
Yeah.
That was a much better penalty as well. That was going right into the bottom corner on the first angle. Let's see the behind the goal.
Yeah, keeper tips onto the post, doesn't he?
Yeah. Down low as well. Much harder to get. God, whichever team gets knocked out of this or doesn't get promotion off the back of this game will be unhappy with that penalty miss. Either to miss a penalty and then
Yeah, especially that would have been a away goal as well. I assume away goals count in these 2 legs.
Chievo now right down the other end straight away. Oh, clever pass across the box. Oh, what an awful touch. Throw.
That's only 1 point now.
What's the time on the clock?
8 minutes left.
The Mavs were at 5-1 at one stage there as well, like that. I thought it was strange.
Who was 5-1?
The Mavs.
The Mavs.
Were they? Yeah, I'm surprised.
The Kings are 1-7 and the Mavs are 5-1. It's back to 9-10 both teams now. So
big lob into the box. Oh,
yeah.
The balls in this game
here, so they could actually take the lead for the first time, possibly the first time in the whole game.
mad in this Chievo game, how many times the ball has just bounced into the box, either box, and just kind of rolled past defenders and then rolled past the strikers and then just out for a clearance. A lot of missed opportunities, both ends.
He's scored 3 in it.
You need to pray for 5 or 6 minutes in this game anyway.
2 penalties, 2 VAR decisions, and any substitutions, you've got to be looking at 4. So let's hope for 6. But you looking for another penalty, is he? Or a free out? Yeah, it's a free out all day. Come on, show us. 5 minutes.
Brentford are on it back here. Oh, what a tackle. Oh, yes. Fulham on the counter now. Fulham could hit them here. So it's 3-on-3.
Fingers crossed.
Oh, that was a terrible pass. Like he sold them short by about 5 yards, but they still have the ball, Fulham. Mitrovic. Oh.
Be poetic if Mitrovic gets the winner anyway.
Yeah, the keeper did well there. But like, how did Brentford end up? So like, it was 3-on-3, and then as I said, the really bad pass gave the ball away. Fulham got it back, and then somehow Fulham had 2 players at the back post.
Chievo, an Emploi free here on the edge of the box. It's soft in my book, especially as a back Chievo.
Sending off, was there? No, yellow card in the Fulham game. Could have been a sending off. He kind of went in a little bit out of control. Ooh. See, now giving a sending off.
There'll be a lot of pressure on that ref not to send somebody off in that final, though.
Yeah, but like he kind of jumped in. I suppose what saved him was he didn't really come off his feet, but like he basically caught the player with both sets of studs on his ankle. Like,
I don't know how Emploi didn't score. Absolute great. That was a great free kick.
Because the Mavs have fallen 4 points behind now again.
4 points behind now, yeah.
Yeah, just within touching distance and then fall behind. But it's mad what 4 points does. Like, you know, to me in basketball, again, like limited knowledge, but 4 points isn't really anything. But 4 points has got the game from even money to the Mavs being 3-1.
Yeah, the Kings are 1-5. Yeah.
Strange, like.
I wonder, is it that over time, like, you know, the Mavs have gotten back in it and drifted and gotten back in it and drifted.
That's what I was going to say. It's been a consistent pattern that they've come back within 3 or 4 points, and then the Kings have pushed ahead again. So
yeah, it's like we were saying about the football match. You back a team 1-0 down. If they go 1-0 down, 1-all, 2-1 down, 2-all. If they go 3-2 down, you're probably going to steer clear of them, you know.
Yeah.
That looked like a free to Emploi there, not given. Pretty clear shove in the back.
It was a very like the fall probably didn't help him get it. He looked
a bit theatrical, wasn't it?
Yeah, theatrical was the word I was looking for.
It was after I thought I was scratching my leg with a pen. It was not clicked in, and I'm after drawing an absolutely insane amount of ink all over my leg. God damn it! Yeah, this one is looking like it's going to be 0-0 anyway. I'm kind of happy with that though, Gary. We talked earlier about goals in the Shells match, and I just kind of said the weather, so there's no real insight there. But we said over 1.5 in this game, and I said to you, I don't think so. Like, there's not how Chievo set up, you know. So it's not that I made any money off it, but I'm at least happy that I, you know, had an insightful comment earlier in the day.
Yeah, I'm just frustrated now that the Fulham, because Fulham had chances to win it, and you know, me calling the draw as well in this game. No,
yeah.
I kind of thought differently to you. I thought if it was going to be a draw, it'd be a 1-1 draw. The fact that both missed penalties as well, easily could have been a 1-1 draw too.
Yeah.
So, no, it's frustrating, but like it looks unlikely there's going to be a winner now.
If there is, it's going to be Emploi. Hold on.
Yeah.
Oh no, penalty. That was as bad as the penalty was given.
Worse than my book.
Yeah.
This Brentford Fulham game, will it go to penalties? So
Yeah.
So there's 20 minutes left in it.
Some amount of pressure right on that penalty shootout.
Yeah. Like now,
both of those clubs are well managed and they're safe enough, but like for other clubs, it could just be the beginning of a spiral, not to win that. It'd be massive for Brentford to get into the Premier League, though.
I think Kawhi is off the court. Is he? Is that?
No, he's back on again, I think.
Back on.
Yeah, he's up to 3 rebounds for you anyway. So
there's Emploi gone anyway.
Yeah. Happy looking defender there after not giving away a penalty in the 95th minute.
Yeah, I've gone off that now. So
Kings have got a pretty long time out here. So it's still 93-89, 4 points in it. It's just starting up again. Kings in possession. The thing is, like, they score so often in basketball, and you know what I mean, on so many of the attacks that you're just willing them to lose possession. They did again there now, so they're up by 6. Like, so where the Mavs need to score every attack, they actually need to get the ball off the Kings and their attacks, or just hope that they miss, win the rebound and get back up at them.
Do you have any views on the Europa League tomorrow? So 4 games. So Başakşehir, Copenhagen, Shakhtar, Wolfsburg, Inter, Getafe, and Man United, Lask. Now we've got Citadella and Frosinone in the Serie B as well. So
that's what I'm going to be watching, is the Frosinone game for sure. I think, Inter and Man United are obvious favourites in their games, but I'd say you wouldn't even get evens on the two of them combined. I think, I can't remember, but I think Inter about 1-2 and United are probably about 1-5. So there's nothing really there for me to back. The Copenhagen and Wolfsburg games, kind of tough ones to call. There's no real obvious favourite in either of those games. Shakhtar are, kind of famous home birds, but they don't play their home games at home anymore. So Wolfsburg are probably a good bet there. Looking at the odds of them here, if it overloads up, and Wolfsburg are 2-1. So I wouldn't be. They would be probably my first, glance at that bet would be Wolfsburg. Not sure if you've got anything picked out.
I would go for goals in the Copenhagen game. So it's 6-5 for over 2.5. I know it's the first leg, but I think that I know that the Turkish team, and I can't pronounce their name, but I know they score and concede a lot. I'd be with you on Wolfsburg there, but I'd need to just check. Oh, Fulham have scored.
Nice.
The keeper will be shocked.
Did you back them on their own? I did.
No, I didn't back them on the end. But there was a free kick. Like, it should have been a fairly harmless position, and it looked like, so it was kind of left wing, and it looked like it was going to get crossed into the box. But he's taking a shot. It's the left back who's taking a shot. Oh my God, the keeper is terrible. Like, he's fully 40 yards out. I'm
looking at this here. He wasn't awake to it at all, was he? That was the problem.
But even, oh my God, like, he got his way to that is shocking goalkeeping.
Yeah. You should have been watching our penalty saving goalkeepers in this Serie B.
Like, I don't even see, there wasn't even pace on it. like fair play to Brian for having the balls to take it. But
Soccer balls.
And cojones, as your mate Tridini would say. But yeah, sorry, getting back to the bet tomorrow. So I go over 2.5 in the Copenhagen game. I'd probably go Wolfsburg. And then Bruno Fernandes is 11 to 10 anytime, considering he'd be taking free kicks and penalties, looks big. And Romelu Lukaku is even money in the Inter game. So, I mean, you'd expect Lukaku to get chances against Getafe. So that's going to be the ACA. I'm not too sure what I would pay. I'll calculate it up here and see.
Well, without Lukaku, it's 13 to 1. So 25 to 1.
27 to 1. So
yeah.
So yeah, that's kind of what I look at there. And then I need to look through the stats in Citadella Frosinone to see what's up. The Kings game, the Kings Mavericks, has been suspended for quite a long time. Any idea what's up there?
Yeah, I mean, it's not suspended on Bet365. There's still 4 points in it, 2.5 minutes to go.
Okay. Because the Kawhi bet is actually looking good now. Seeing he has 4 rebounds, 7 points. So, still time left in the second half or second quarter.
4 rebounds isn't bad at this stage in the match for sure. Plenty of time left in this quarter as well.
Yeah, so I'd like.
Mavericks are within a point now.
Back in it. Yeah. They'd hit 5 to 1 a few moments ago, hadn't they?
They had, yeah.
A point in it. Doncic has made a triple-double.
So it's half-time and extra time in the Brentford Fulham game. I cannot believe that goalkeeper.
Yeah.
But it's not, with the point still in it, I know you're saying it's probably the ebb and flow of the game and the fact that the Mavs haven't led. But they were 2 to 1, now they're 17 to 10 with a point in it. Seems odd.
Yeah, it does.
It's hard to read it, I suppose, when you're not watching it. Like we were saying, every time Mavs have come within the Kings have managed to push on. So I can see why they're still, outside the odds at this stage. But once they take the lead, surely that's going to rattle the Kings a bit, who have led literally from the first minute or two of the game.
Yeah.
I've actually flicked over to because it's half time there. I flicked over to the basketball.
Which game do you have on there? The Mavs game?
Yeah, the Mavs. It's on Sky Sports Action. So watching it here.
I'm just looking at. So my instincts have been to kind of look at Frosinone for tomorrow as a bet. They're 2 to 1, but I just sort of said I better double check because that price seemed a bit too high to me, and they're actually in toxic form. It kind of passed me by. Really, maybe we've just been looking at the goals more than anything else. But they've won one of their last 12 games, losing 6 of them. So I don't know. There's 13 to 8 available for Citadella tomorrow. Seems like a pretty generous price considering they're coming up against a toxically out of form Frosinone, and they bet them the last time they played them as well.
Mavs have 2 free throws here. They're a point behind, so this is their chance to take the lead.
I didn't want to get too excited about that. So
for me, it seems most often it's one of the 2 free throws is scored, but it's probably pretty close to either 2 or.
The guy who gave away the foul isn't happy at all. He got a rant at the ref, and then he went off onto the bench and started kicking the advertising ordinance. So.
Standard theatrics.
Come on now, Mavs. It's really weird seeing like the way they have the setup of the court, isn't it? This is my first time watching. He missed
first time missed anyway.
Like,
at least put it level. Yeah, 95 apiece. Kings with possession again after that now.
You're ahead of me there. I don't know how. I thought I'd be like.
Yeah, I don't know. The betting sites seem to be always ahead of everything else, don't they? That's good. The Kings missed the shot there now, so that, assuming they didn't win the rebound, Mavs have possession back. Big chance for them to take a lead here now again. Or, I mean, for the first time, but another big chance. Oh, for fuck's sake, they fouled. I hate to see it in basketball when the team attacking fouls. It doesn't even make sense. Like, how, you're obviously just in the midst of getting dispossessed and you throw the hand up or whatever, but it's just so rare. Frustrating.
Yeah.
Kings back with possession now, like.
Yeah, they have a kind of halfway though. They're not threatening yet, but now they're bringing it forward.
Well, yeah, it's not that easy to just dispossess them or that, but they've missed their shot anyway. So
yeah,
Mavs have it back, a minute on the clock into the final minute, 95 apiece. Decent game.
Yeah,
not 1-2 at the start of this.
3 points
for a 3-point, missed it. Who was that? Doncic, I'd say, was it?
No, I don't think Doncic is in black, is he?
He's a little. Well, I say little. He's probably about 6'4", but
yeah,
shorter than most of the rest of them. Jesus, it must be about 5 misses in a row here between the two.
Yeah,
teams.
like that was a shocking miss as well, and then the ball kind of hung up at the basket. So it could have been anybody. Oh Jesus, that happened again. Like, so the Kings went down there are down attacking and took a shot and the ball was bouncing on the rim. And then the Mavs went up the other end and did the same thing. Like the ball was bouncing on the rim.
It looks like Kings are going to have a buzzer shot here to win it.
Yes, please.
They've missed it. There's a bonus for the Mavs have a bonus, so can they still play on for another 5 seconds?
How does that work? I haven't seen that before.
Then the end of regulation anyway, so.
No, it's the end of it, yeah. We go into overtime, 95 all at the end of the final quarter. Need to check in on this Clippers game.
Up here now. Ball into Mitrovic at the back post, please. Oh. I don't know why I'm so passionate about Fulham because my bet's gone, but
I put a 5, but the last 5 of my account, I just put it on Fulham, and I just took out nearly 30 of it. And it was going to pay a maximum of 40, so I just think, right, better to have that 30 in my account than be.
What's your back around 9-1?
No, 13-2.
Okay.
So yeah, back in business.
So frustrating now. Why couldn't they have scored that goal, or the keeper had that brain fart in regular time? Now that would have had that bet up.
Yeah.
Straighten out, but close enough anyway.
Well, George is one of his 3 3-pointers for me anyway. I still have that treble going for the NBA because those first 2 games were the ones that I made up the 5-fold with. So the one that's going now, I need Clippers to win and George to score 3 threes.
3 attempts so far as well. So he's obviously trying them.
Yeah. I mean, 1 out of 3 isn't great. You'd be hoping kind of 2 out of 3, but the 2 games before this, he was 8 from 11 and 6 from 11.
Guys, we've misunderstood the Chievo game. It's gone to extra time and Chievo are 1-0 up. I don't know how that's even happening. How did we get that so wrong? I'm just checking my score.
You're an Italian expert. Like, you're the one who told us it was going to be 2 legs.
But the market closed and there's a second leg scheduled for next week. It's so bizarre.
Man, it must be some arrangement they made with the COVID stuff that they said, look, let's just get this wrapped up on one occasion.
I mean, that would have changed it. Lumping on Chievo with 9 minutes to go, we definitely would have just waited out the extra time.
Yeah.
But yeah, the market's gone on Betfair. Like, it came up as closed. It didn't go to extra time. Check Paddy Power. They also don't have any markets. And there's a second leg scheduled for, I don't know the exact day, but next week.
Yeah, live score are giving it that there was a 97-minute goal anyway.
Well, it's shown up as the 100th minute of the match.
Yeah,
So
live don't give the match in the future though.
that's funny because they did about 2 days ago because I was going through the schedule. Very, very strange. I mean, the bookies don't have it either, so there's obviously some sort of confusion out there, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, we wouldn't have been able to back it or watch it because the bookies don't have it, so it's not that we've missed out on anything, but it's still a strange one.
Brentford seem all over the shop here now.
This overtime is just after starting now with the Mavs and the Kings.
So I'm trying to watch too much here. I'm trying to see how Boy is doing on the Suns Clippers game.
What odds was he again? What odds?
It's 3-1 for the double and a Clippers win. No, I know the Clippers are 5 points behind, but I'm hoping that is kind of a certainty that they'll come back there.
I mean, given the way the other games have gone, I wouldn't be so sure, but yeah.
They're
still favourites to win it, like. Although now it's gone, both teams are 9-10.
Okay. The Suns are gone 10 points clear.
Taking the lead. It's only shown 7 on Bet365.
63.
They could be behind, like. But...
Yeah, I'm on ESPN, and it went.
Oh yeah, no, it must be.
It's back now, so it's 63-56 now. But ESPN seems to be a couple of seconds ahead of the betting sites.
Yeah.
So Kawhi is up to 10 points now. So the points are in. Still need 6 rebounds or 8 assists to get the double-double. Cyrus Christie is just giving a free kick away in a very dangerous position here in the playoff final. So Brentford had a free kick, the edge of the box, 20 yards out. You'd assume he's going to take a shot on goal. Hopefully the keeper is concentrating more than the Brentford keeper was anyway. Terrible free kick by Ben Rama straight into the wall.
$99 apiece in the Mavs game now.
Come on, the Mavs. Oh.
Briefly took the lead in overtime. Oh, Jesus, Kings just got a 3-pointer. Pushed them through 99.
This is totally unrelated to like basketball, but when are the TV providers going to realize that the crowd noise is actually so annoying? Like, you know,
but a lot of people that I've seen like online and stuff like it. You know,
really? Oh my god! I think if you like it, you're.
They just pump out the fake noise, is it?
Yeah, but it's off, like, you know, so it's obviously someone there pressing buttons.
They've obviously got 10 scenarios that they're pressing the button for. Like there was one in the FA Cup final. There was an Arsenal tackle against a Chelsea player that, like, at first glance you could have said was a foul on the edge of the box, but like the Chelsea players didn't even appeal for it. There was no foul whatsoever. And the guy in the studio obviously pressed the ooh kind of sound, and you hear this crowd jeering the ref, and none of the Chelsea players reacted, and it was just so bizarre.
All the players can hear this as well. Like,
no, just the TV.
Right. It's not pumped out over the sound system; it's just on the telly.
Yeah, but I just find it so annoying. Like,
absolutely another free throw here to level it. Yeah, 102.
Yeah, I kind of want this Fulham match to be over so I can watch the basketball, but I don't really want to flick away from it too much. So then, I miss a goal or something in the basketball.
Miss the fact that it's gone to extra time in the Serie B game thanks to the basketball as well.
Yeah. actually can't find the basketball now. I don't know what the story is.
I don't think Paul George has scored any more, has he? No, still 1 3-pointer for him. 1 out of 4 now, 25%. He needs to improve that ratio fairly lively. Jeez, he's only scored 7 points as well. That's pretty bad showing for his standard so far.
Jeez, the Mavs are playing terrible. Like I've watched about, I'd say, 5 minutes of the basketball since I flicked over, and I don't think I've seen them make a point. Like, obviously, I've flicked on and off, but any of the shots I've seen them take, they've missed.
Yeah, most of the points in the last while have been from free throws. Like.
Yeah, they went for a 3-pointer there like a minute ago. And, I mean, like, obviously for anybody, it'd be a difficult one, or any amateur. But like the guy was standing on his own in the corner, and like no pressure on him, and like missed it by a mile. So yeah, it's good they've gone ahead, but I wouldn't be too confident.
It's been a bit shaky. They're right. They're still. I mean, they're guaranteed playoffs pretty much. Like so. I don't know.
We won't be backing them to win the NBA championship.
No chance. They're up by 2 now, and the Kings just missed the shot, so they have possession as well. They could actually stretch a bit of a lead here.
Yeah, and that'd be like, if they can get a 3-pointer here, that'd be the game.
Oh, they just did, as you said.
Oh, really? Because the heads just dropped for the Kings now. That's a brilliant 3-pointer as well.
5 up, a minute 20 to go.
Oh, 2-0 to Fulham.
Wrapped up.
The left back has scored 2 goals. That's a brilliant goal.
Sanchez nearly into double territory here. He's 19 rebounds, 34 points.
Fulham are back in the Premier League anyway.
I actually think Doncic was all right odds to be top point scorer in this game as well, and he's a mile ahead. Well, Fox on 28 for the Kings. 34.
So, guys, are we going to end it there with the fact that
I think the Fulham game is as good as done.
So, as I said, we'll be back tomorrow night with a preview of the PGA Championship and live stream of the Europa League. So join us then, guys.
And if you want to take a moral victory out of tonight, we had Chievo to win and Fulham to win, and they both did win, but just in extra time. So we didn't win the bets, but we picked the right teams.
Yeah, anyway. The moral victories are the best.
Yeah. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll be on again tomorrow at the same time.